Hello and welcome also from my side, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to show you the small library I've created called NOS Decorators, which should improve the developer experience when you are working with the old and kind of legacy Yves frontend. So first to my side, my name is Andreas. I'm living and working in Vienna, and I'm a developer for over 10 years now. Most of the time I was working with Magento 1 and 2, and since 2 years I'm working with Spryker. So if you want to reach me, you can find me on GitHub, LinkedIn, and on Twitter. So why do we need a tool like this? So on the right side, you can see the quantity counter component from the demo shop with a lot of boilerplate. So in here, you have this init function, which is kind of the constructor with assignments to those fields. And we have the map events, which binds event listeners to those elements. And at the bottom, a lot of attribute getters. So we tried to find a way to remove this boilerplate and also to remove or try to remove those conventions, like if you can see that on the right side, the quantity input with this JS name. The JS name is just the tag name of the quantity counter prefixed with JS, and then the underscore input, which is kind of a BAM style. So we try to get rid of that, but we also do not want to introduce a new framework like Stimulus or Alpine JS. Yeah, so how do we do that? So Spryker, NOS Decorators is a set of TypeScript decorators. So you can see here on the right side, the quantity counter with 3 class decorators and a few field decorators. And we are using custom HTML attributes to connect the JavaScript part with the HTML part. So I have created a small example. I hope you can see my IDE now. Yes, okay. So simple counter, if you click on the left side, it decreases. If you click on the right side, it increases. And this is built with the style you can find inside the Spryker demo shop. So we have the init, which initializes all those elements. You have the map events, which binds the event listeners. Down here, we have all those attribute getters for the selectors and also for the current value. So first of all, I want to get rid of map event stuff here. The only thing that I have to do is to mark the class as actionable. Remove function, and inside the twig file here, we need to add additional HTML attributes. That's example counter, which is the component name, followed by action. But then we have the event name, the click event, and the name of the function, which is increment. And we do the same thing also for the increment button. And if I reload the page now, everything works as expected. So what else can we do here? So I want to get rid of all those element selectors. Since the decrement and increment button is not used anywhere else, in here we can get rid of them because we already have marked them as actionable. And the only thing left is the Snelly container. So we mark the class as targetable, and we have then this field decorator called target. Can also, so we have no init constructor method anymore. And inside the script file, we need to add an attribute called example counter, so the component name followed by target. And the field name, value container. If I reload again on the right side, it still works. So what else? We have this current value, which is an attribute, and we can get rid of those getters and setters by using a new field decorator attribute, mark the whole class as attributable, again, current value, with a field and initialize it with an initial value. In this case, it's number. So this value is used later on for typecasting. So if you want to have a string, you can initialize it with a string, number, Boolean. Also arrays and objects are currently supported. So, and since we have the field now, we can remove getters and setters. And if I reload it again, it still works. So we can do a little cleanup here. We have this button selectors we're not using anymore. And inside the HTML, we have all those selector attributes. We don't use them anymore. We have this JS stuff, JS class. And remove this. Also here. And here. I'll reload again. It's still working. And in my opinion, it's looks way better than before. It's less code and I think easier to implement instead of the old way. So a small recap, we have a few class decorators, which are actionable, attributable, and targetable. And then we have field decorators, which is, for example, attribute, which binds the attribute to the field. We have the target, which is the component tag, so that the tag name of the component followed by target, and then the field name, and the same for targets if you want to query for multiple elements. Component tag followed by targets. So the roadmap for this tool, since the newest version of TypeScript, TypeScript 5, decorators are not experimental anymore. So they had a few changes there, and we want to adopt those changes also in our library. And there are plans to implement decorators natively inside JavaScript, so maybe we can remove the bubble plugins also in the future. And the second point here, remove coupling with Yves and Spryker. We thought that this library could also be useful outside of the Spryker ecosystem. So we can remove the ready callbacks, which are currently inside the Yves and Spryker part of this library. And the third point is implement some kind of a context protocol. There's already a proposal for custom web components. So if you ever worked with React or Lit, there is this context approach already implemented. So you have a parent component, which is a context provider, and you can have multiple child components, which are context consumers. And if the context updates, then all of these components get notified. Yeah, you can find this small tool on GitHub, so github.com project NOS Decorators, and it's already an npm package, which you can find on npmjs.com. That was it. Are there any questions?